We've seen time and time again that the ignorance from anti-Israel protesters is just mind-boggling. And I want to show you yet another clip where anti-Israel protesters and marchers were asked basic questions about the conflict and about Hamas, and their answers are, well, let's just say disturbing. This is produced by the Young Americas Foundation. Have a watch at the answers they received.
Can you guys tell me a little bit about your goal here today?
As queer people, we have a duty to show up here and stand in solidarity with all of the other marginalized communities.
Freedom for Palestine. We're celebrating both causes, for Pride and for Gaza.
Basically, we just trying to get him to understand where everybody's coming from.
And where are you coming from?
I told you, I don't know about this. I told you, I don't know.
So talking about human rights, all this kind of started October 7th. So what do you have to say about October 7th and the actions of Hamas?
I think definitely the protest started October 7th, but this issue did not start October 7th.
I guess October 7th they did something.
They went in to get some hostages to try to stop the oppression.
They came out of trying to fight back, because they've been oppressed for so many years.
October 7th was the exclamation point at the end of a history of apartheid.
How does apartheid being enforced over there in Israel?
I'm not really sure about that. It's my first time hearing about that.
Do you guys have some examples of how that apartheid looks like in the state of Israel?
I don't.
Also, would you say that rape is resistance?
I don't know that much about that. I don't think I can answer that question.
Is rape justified because of the actions?
I don't think... Yeah, it's definitely putting me in a box saying that.
So you're saying that that rape could be justified?
Hamas is the reaction. It's not a problem. Hamas is the result of the situation.
What's your message right now to other young people out there? Should they come out and protest and show their support for Hamas?
I think they should.
And your sign says, "From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free."
Yeah.
Can you tell me which river and which sea we're talking about here?
This is you've caught me on the spot, and I'm really horrible when asking questions. But basically, the river and the sea that border both sides of Palestine, where Israel is right now.
Yeah. I have to say, in some of these cases, quite frankly, these people are not, just bad. They're insane. That's the problem here. These people haven't got a clue. They haven't got a clue. They're completely delusional, ignorant. Half of them don't know why they're there. They don't know anything about the conflict. And in some ways, for me, this epitomizes the times we're living in today. Because I think that by and large, a lot of the issues we have today in society at large, but also even with the conflict in Israel, the issue is less about deeply rooted ideological evil, like let's say it was when we were dealing with Nazi Germany. But now it's just a case of just utter confusion, utter ignorance and foolishness. And that can be a good thing, actually, because if the Jewish people can provide the moral clarity and moral leadership to educate, then I think we'll actually see people change. We'll see people move. But it does mean that we have to lead the way in giving that moral leadership. It's not enough to try and just fit in and be like all the other nations of the world. The Jewish people's role has been, and will always be, to be the teachers of God's morality to the world. And part of God's morality, part of his vision, his will for the world, is for the Jewish people to inherit eternally the land of Israel. And so, the way you deal with ignorance, which clearly is the issue of our time, is through education and is through being completely firm and standing up in providing that moral leadership. And even for those who are less ignorant and may have their ideological beliefs, particularly in the Arab world, they believe they inherit the land spiritually. They are the new chosen people. Ishmael inherits the land. There too, the same solution applies. We have to stand up and be firm and uncompromising and clear in saying that the land of Israel is an eternal inheritance of the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And we are their direct biological descendants, the Jewish people. Even if Ishmael did inherit, Arabs today are not direct descendants anymore of Ishmael. The lines got far too messy. There's been far too much intermingling, and it is a biological as well as a spiritual inheritance of the Jewish people, and they will react well to that if we say that, because we're dancing too much to the Western tunes. We're in the Arab world, we're in the Middle East, but we're talking to the Western world. We have to be speaking the language that they understand. So in either case, the ultimate solution has to be in the Jewish people articulating clearly to those who are ignorant on Western campuses and marches, and as well as those in the Arab world, articulating the truth. The truth has power. And if you think the truth doesn't have power, then you might as well give up. What's the point? Truth, no matter how it's said, no matter how it's conveyed, has power because it is true. And so we should say it. Now, I know that's a slightly more serious ending for this video, but it's important we get this message out. It's important that we know how to respond to the craziness, the madness, the insanity that we're seeing, just as we saw in that video. Hi, thank you so much for watching. To watch another one, click here. To stay up to date with all our content, click here to subscribe. And if you're able to, you can help support JTV to grow and grow by clicking join below this video, where you can become a member and get perks including early access to videos and private live discussions with me. But most of all, you'll be partnering with us on our mission to change the world.